one eye on the market, here to make you profit. Besides myself.
All right, we are back for the market statistics for June 2022. We're going to take a look at what the real estate market is doing. Some of this might surprise you guys. If you've been looking at articles or videos from other agents or from Zillow or the news media outlets, you're probably hearing a lot of fear about a quick move to the buyer's market, about home prices collapsing and things like that. What we're going to look at today, and again, we're a unique market here, so what's happening in other areas and larger metro areas, we're going to be insulated from that a little bit because, you know, when things get too expensive in the LAs or the San Franciscos, those people sell and they move here, you know, because we're affordable housing, we're in California, and people can still commute to those jobs. So, you know, we tend to be a little bit more insulated from the big swings in the market. But that said, you know, we're going to look at some of the trends in Tulare County for June, and I think some of these things are going to surprise you. So let's dive right into that. First of all, average sale price is sitting just under $400,000 right now. It was $397,695 in June for Tulare County. That was a slight rebound from May, but after a pretty solid pullback in April. So from April to May, we saw it pull back. I don't know exactly what it was. Let's say, you know, 15,000. And we rebounded back another 5 maybe. So at this point, some people are looking at this and they're saying, hey, that's the peak. We're turning. Prices are going to start going down. And you know, we're going to see more buyers who are able to negotiate lower prices on their homes and less of this multiple offer situation stuff. But on the flip side of that, we've got 3 years of an upward trend, and we've seen several little pullbacks like this, one here, a little bit here, a little bit here, you know what I mean? But the overall trend has still been going up. So there's still a huge segment of the real estate, you know, profession that they're saying, hey, even if you buy now and it pulls back a little bit, in 3 years, 2 years, you're still going to be way up, and you're going to be happy that you did what you did. So depending on how you look at the trends, might decide how your outlook, you know, your personal outlook is for the real estate market over the next year or two. But we're going to look at some other factors right now that might help you decide which way to go. So as far as new listings, those are way up for 2022. Obviously, we've spiked quite a bit in here, and we're noticing it. As realtors, you know, the last few years it's been tough. We've had low inventory. And we still have low inventory, but it's getting better. And we can definitely feel that influx in new listings, especially in this span right here. That said, if you look at the last 2 years, it stayed pretty even. You know, you had a big drop off in the holidays. It would rise up kind of in the spring, drop off, and then rise again during the summer when the kids are home and off of school. And you kind of had the same thing in 2021, right? Smaller pullback and a smaller rise than you saw here. But it's very different than what we're seeing in 2022. You know, we still saw a little pullback, but it's way up from the last few years. So we're definitely reaching new highs in inventory. There is definitely a shift there, and we're going to look at overall inventory here in a little bit to see what kind of effect that's having on the market and if we need to be worried. And again, if you look at the 2021, it's kind of the same trends, right? So as far as homes for sale right now, again, it's starting to rebound a little bit in here, but for the 3 year, you know, the 3 year totals, we're still way down. So you're talking about all these new listings coming on the market, but our overall inventory is still right here, which is, it's up a little bit, maybe from mid 2021, but you know, it's still lower than it was prior to mid 2020. So we're definitely not in the danger zone yet. As you can see here, the line, you know, we're still well under this this basis here. If we start jumping up and we get up in here to 1,000 homes for sale, we're going to have a lot more inventory on the market, and you're going to start seeing changes at that point. So this is a trend to watch. You know, if this continues to rise over the next couple months, that could definitely have an impact on home prices. But if it kind of peters off or tails off, maybe not so much. Pending sales is pretty much in line with what we've been seeing. You know, there's fears that pending sales and closed sales are going to drop off with, you know, rising interest rates and buyers having a harder time qualifying. So far, we're not seeing that. You know, you have the typical drop-offs in the holidays. We had a little bit of a drop-off actually in February, March when we first got that big hit to interest rates. But after that, people pretty much adjusted and they said, okay, you know, that's going to be the new norm. So it rebounded pretty quick, and we're still right in line with what we've been seeing. Closed sales, very similar. You know, you can kind of see the patterns over the last couple of years, and we're still right there. Days on the market, not a huge change, but it is starting to go up a little bit. We're seeing a little rebound in days on market. Again, overall, the trend has been a huge downtrend over the last 3 years, from something like 40 days on market in 2019 down to 8 currently. And finally, I think this is probably one of the more important factors to pay attention to. It's the months of inventory on the market. So when you hear people talk about a buyer's market or a seller's market, they're typically talking about how many months of inventory there are available compared to it's basically the turnaround, right? So if you have 6 months, that's kind of the median, they say. So 5 months or less is typically a seller's market. 6, 7 months or more is typically a buyer's market. At this point today, we are still sitting at 1.7 months of inventory. So we are still way in the seller's market range right now. And we have been for quite a long time. So when people are talking about this big swing into the buyer's market, this is the big swing that they're talking about right now. And it's not much different than other swings that we've seen previously. Could the trends continue if inflation keeps going up, if the Fed keeps clamping down, if we do get into recession mode? Absolutely. But it's something to watch, and we're definitely not in danger zone yet. We're still very much in a seller's market. And again, this kind of shows you that baseline. You know, we'd have to be way up here to be considered a buyer's market. So in summary, average sale price dropped significantly in May, but rebounded slightly in June. It could go either way from here, and kind of probably depends on a lot of these other factors that we took a look at. The highest month for new listings since October of 2020 was in June. And if this continues, if we keep seeing this flood of new listings, we can expect prices to continue to fall, because we are seeing fewer buyers, not a lot less, but we are seeing fewer buyers entering the market, and they're having a harder time qualifying for loans right now. Pending and closed homes might be slightly down, but they're still in line with our expectations, and there's really no red flags to consider there at this point. Most homes available for sale since October 2020. So that 1.7 months of supply that we have right now, that 1.7 months of inventory, that's the best that we've seen since October 2020. But again, it's still way low. So we're still very much in the seller's market for now. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments, and I would love to address them. Take care.
David Haun, when they all falling short, pass me the baton. Can't handle your inquiries, a marathon, and can't nobody do it better, man, than David Haun.